always just like question mark. Yes, what are kind of like sort of the barriers that we place in society, in our lives, and in the country where we live, and what does that mean in terms of delineating spaces, and also creating this sort of points of access or unaccessibility for others. I really love this placement because it's just so poetic. It's kind of like sort of like, is this a barrier that actually exists, or is it floating in your mind? So yeah, Esperanza, those were my impressions. Do you wanna tell us a little bit about the piece yourself?
Sure. When I first created this piece, I envisioned it hanging in a gallery. Just this door suspended, but it really works outside because it is basically out of place. And so when the theme for ARTINA came up, and I had just completed this piece, I thought, this is perfect because the doors we see as barriers, but being suspended in the middle of nowhere really makes us question, is this really a barrier? Is this all in our heads?
Is it real or imagined?
Yes, are we imagining this barrier? Is the fact that this fist is breaking through, is this an exercise in futility? I mean, is this necessary? Are we trying to break through barriers that don't exist? And so that was the whole idea behind the piece. And again, I thought it fit very well with this. I like it being outside. Again, I originally envisioned it being indoors, just sort of hanging. But I like it being outside. I know it's scared a lot of people. The fact that it moves, the fact that it's dynamic,
It's like an eerie floating door in your mind.
it's this door, it's got a spirit of its own. It's got a life of its own. So I love the fact that I was able to install it outside and that it has this inner life and this movement within itself. And yes, it's sort of out of place. It again kind of fits in with that theme. Is this effort out of place? Is this door, we know the door is out of place, but is that door really a door? Because if it's just hanging in the middle of nowhere,
without a frame,
it's not really a door. It's out of context.
And then you question the closeness.
That's right. There's no framework around it. So, is this really a door?
and again ties back to this conversation of the barrier. Like our barriers completely out of place. Technically, they should not exist. We should not have barriers. And thinking of our own personal barriers in a way, how out of place it may be with our idea of perhaps a fulfilled, enlightened life in a way. So I love how it lends itself to that sort of poetic statement as well. Any other conversations, thoughts?